following program is provided for general information only. Younger viewers should check with appropriate professionals or adults to address individual problems, permissions, and concerns.
You know, India produces the most milk.
Yet the Irish consume more milk products than any other country.
Some milk makers prefer to coast on the reputation of an area rather than spend the money to make quality milk.
Hear, hear. I agree most wholeheartedly.
Since when are you engaged?
I think goat's milk is to die for.
It is, only if you can get it farm fresh.
Probably from a Jersey cow.
Still, I hear there was none better than a Gordon 1979.
We know milk isn't that sophisticated, but believe it or not, there's a wide variety to choose from. We're here at Super Target to tell you about the different types of milk you'll find at your local grocer. Milk is commonly known for making strong bones and teeth, but did you know it's also good for helping develop your brain and your nervous system? So let's start with the most popular milk, whole milk. You can buy it fresh, powdered, or in a can. Fresh is best for drinking and delicate desserts. It has 3.25% fat and vitamins A and D. But what's probably better for you is skim milk. It's virtually fat-free and has all the nutrients of whole milk.
I wonder how they get the fat out of milk.
The 2% and 1% milks have most of the fat removed.
But if it's 2% fat, then why do they call it 2% milk?
Chocolate milk has cocoa and sugar added. And there's a low-fat chocolate milk that's even better for you. And it tastes good too. Buttermilk's a byproduct of butter making. It isn't fortified with vitamins, but it's more popular in cooking and baking.
Milk is as ancient as mankind itself, as it is the substance created to feed the budding infant. All species of mammals, from whales to humans, produce milk for this purpose.
Well, then how come you don't see whale's milk at the stores?
Many centuries ago, perhaps as early as 6000 BC, ancient man learned to domesticate cows for the provision of milk.
Give me your milk. No, you can't have my milk. But I'm domesticating you. What else am I gonna eat cereal with?
The availability and distribution today in the modern world is a blend of the centuries-old knowledge on traditional milk products with the application of modern science and technology.
Evaporated milk is sold in a can. It comes in either whole or low fat. It has 60% of the water removed from whole, 2%, 1%, or skim milks.
But if it's evaporated, why is there still stuff in there when you open up the can?
To make it into its regular form again, I'd combine it with equal parts water. Sometimes you can substitute with half and half, which whips better than evaporated milk or cream, even though it's higher in fat. But it works well in pumpkin pies. Yummy. Evaporated milk is also called condensed milk. But most recipes that call for condensed milk are talking about sweetened condensed milk. Sweetened condensed milk has a lot of sugar, and it isn't a good substitute for evaporated milk. Powdered milk is also called dry milk. To make it into liquid form again, combine it 1 part milk powder with 3 parts water. It has 0 cholesterol, is fat-free, comes in a large box, costs about half the price of fresh skim milk, and it works in every recipe. There are many other varieties of milk, but we won't go over them today.
So much milk, so little time.
Oh, hi. While you're here, let's talk about milk. Now, the dates found on most dairy containers is actually the last day at which the store can legally sell the product, after which they have to pull the item from the shelves. Now, milk, if handled properly, can usually last about 4 days after the pull date. Yogurt's from 7 to 10. Now, oh, hello, hand. Now, sometimes, if we leave milk open too long in the fridge, we get that kind of sour, bitter smell. And, well, that's actually a good thing, though. Well, it is. I mean, it lets us know when we need to throw it away. Oh.
Today we're going to show you how to properly use the blender. A blender is handy for making several things like milkshakes, smoothies, pureed soups, and much more. One of the main things you want to do is to not fill the pitcher too tightly. Just fill it up about halfway. And most importantly, before you turn it on, place your hand on top of the blender. If you don't, the speed of the blade can spin powerfully enough to shoot the lid off, making a really big mess. This also helps to keep the pitcher seated properly in the base. And one other thing you can do is you can remove the secondary lid to pour in additional liquids, be they hot or cold. This also lets steam escape from foods like hot pureed soup. Before you turn it back on, what you want to do is take a pot holder or towel and place it over the top. This keeps the liquid from escaping. Now this is very important. Never stick your fingers into the pitcher. If you think you have something stuck, unplug it first, and then use a rubber or plastic spatula or spoon and go around the insides of the pitcher to free up the blades. Once whatever it was is totally unstuck, plug your blender back in and you can continue blending. That's all there is to it. Happy blending! Hi, I'm Allison Greiner, and today I'm here at La Maison Gourmet Cooking School. And I'm here today with Chef John Lewis, and we are cooking the gourmet dish of the day. And tell us what today's is.
Today is going to be an herbed Alfredo cream sauce. Many of us have probably been out to different Italian restaurants and they have an Alfredo sauce, which is a creamy cheese sauce kind of thing. Our little twist is going to be adding a number of flavorful herbs to it to kind of give it a little edge that you might not be used to. Okay? Oh. So what we did first of all is we took some heavy cream and some butter, and we've had this cooking for a while. We wanted to reduce it by 1/3. Now that's going to thicken it because we've reduced it and eliminated some of the moisture from it. You can see the steam coming off of the pot. Next we're going to add in
the garlic.
Right, that's just minced garlic.
Minced garlic that we had our sous chefs do earlier.
Our fabulous sous chefs.
Fabulous.
We wouldn't be here today if it weren't for them.
And we're adding herbs. We have basil, thyme, and parsley.
That's correct. Okay. Just stir that around a little bit, Allison, and then we'll let that cook for a minute or two. And we'll talk about what we're doing next. We've already boiled up the pasta, so it's ready to go. After that is cooked for a minute or two, we're going to add some eggs in. But what would happen if we added these eggs directly into the hot pot?
They'd be scrambled eggs.
Yeah, we don't want to do that, do we? So how are we going to avoid that?
We're going to temper it. We're going to add a little bit of this sauce into the eggs mixture. We already eggs yolks. It's just yolks.
Just the yolks.
It's the yolks, and we're just going to add a little bit of that and temper it and stir it around so it raises the temperature of the eggs. So then we can put the eggs into the sauce without it ever being scrambled eggs.
That's right. Okay.
Okay.
You want to temper this?
Yes, I will temper it.
I'll be right back with you.
Okay. And we're just gonna put some in there.
Stir it around.
And
That's
stir
right.
it.
Raise the temperature a little bit. And then while you pour that in, I'll stir the hot cream, right? Just scrape it all in there. Now what this is actually going to do is it's going to enrich in the sauce. It's going to make it thicker, okay? I'm going to scrape it all out of there, get all that goodness out of there. Don't leave any of those egg yolks in.
Oh. This makes it creamy and good.
Oh yeah. Pretty soon we get to taste it too.
Ooh.
That's the best part of this job.
Really, yeah.
Okay. And we want to stir some what? Parmesan? Some grated Parmesan?
Grated Parmesan cheese in there. And this is a cup. Yeah, just dump it in there. I like more cheese the better.
You're a cheesy person.
I really am.
Okay, you want to stir that now until it melts. Now you never want to taste it for seasoning. And when I say seasoning, I'm talking about salt and pepper, right? You never want to taste it for seasoning until after you added the Parmesan because it's a salty cheese.
Oh.
So if you did it correct, if you adjusted it before that and then you put the cheese in, it would wind up being too salty.
Oh.
Okay, here we are with some single-use tasting spoons.
Tasting spoons?
Right.
Okay.
Why don't you give that a taste?
That's good.
Think it needs salt and pepper or what?
A little bit. Oh, okay. I was gonna hold on to it. Yeah, a little bit.
You can't use it again.
No twice use. And a little pepper.
No double dipping.
No double dipping.
Okay, give that a nice stir.
Nice stir. It really looks good. I like the colors. It's got a lot of green and stuff in it,
It's got the herbs in there, yeah, which is giving it a nice flavor and also giving it some nice color to it. And then when we add the roasted red peppers after we put it in the bowl, it'll be perfect.
That'll be really
Okay, you want to taste it again?
Yeah. Maybe a couple times. Can I have all the spoons?
Well, why don't we get you this big spoon here, right?
Okay.
And then we can...
This is really good. Okay, perfect. I think it's perfect. Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Don't add anything else. It's perfect.
All right, let's leave it on that heat.
Okay.
And let me walk over here and get the pasta and bring it back. And we'll put the pasta right there in the bowl and stir it together and serve our customers.
Very cool. So we're gonna serve our sous chefs in a second.
Only the sous chefs.
Only the sous chefs.
All right, so carefully stir it around so you coat everything.
Oh, okay.
Do more of a folding action like you were doing before.
Okay.
There you go.
Ooh, it's really cheesy and good.
Cheesy is usually a good thing, huh?
Yes, very, very good. Okay. Now you gotta use a big pot when you're doing this or else it goes everywhere, so.
That's right.
Okay.
And I think I got one of these perforated spoons out.
Ooh.
So
okay. So we're going to put this in the bowl, and then we're gonna put.
What I'd like to see you do is take some of those diced up red peppers.
And we're gonna put
it on top.
Some on top.
Just a few, right? Just to give it a little color.
With this. We're just gonna go like that.
That's just a few.
Just a few.
And we'll put some parsley around the top here to sort of garnish the bowl.
And maybe some sprinkled cheese. Some shredded cheese.
Can we add some more cheese?
Yeah, I think I like cheese.
Okay. Why don't we put this dish out there so everybody can see it? Isn't that nice?
That looks good.
We're all set.
It's very pretty. Well, okay, we're done today with La Maison Gourmet Cooking School. I'm Allison Greiner, and this is Chef John Lewis. And thank you for tuning in.
See you next time.
Bye.
Do you know? Where it comes from? Do you know? Where it comes from? Do you know? Where it comes from? You see it in the store, you see it on the shelf. Eat a lot Lots of produce because it's good for your health. But there's one thing that you can't ignore. Food comes from the farm and not from the store. The celery, potatoes, peanut butter. Florida farmers bring it to you like no other. Chock full of vitamins and tastes great too. Florida farmers bring the food fresh to you. Do you know where it comes from? Do you know where it comes from? Got it right, you got it right, yeah. Got it right, you got it right, yeah. Got it right, you got it right. We're fresh to you, a brand new crew. Here to educate your mind with the rhyme that's new. So we're hip, hot, hyped and on a mission. Here to talk a little bit about nutrition. Fruits and veggies, milk and meat. It's how we get nutrition from the things we eat. So if you want to grow up to be big and strong, gotta eat right, you can't eat wrong. Gotta eat right, you gotta eat right, yeah. Gotta eat right, you gotta eat right.
Kids Can Cook 2 is originally produced and broadcast to serve the educational and informational needs of children in grades 7 through 12.
And now to Katie Wheeler and Keenan McGurk.
Good evening. I'm Katie Wheeler. Our top story tonight. A new pasteurization process may soon be put into practice. Scientists are testing the new process of using electricity to remove all harmful bacteria in milk and to extend shelf life. Pasteurization, named for Louis Pasteur, who developed the process for other foods, is a moderate but exact heat treatment of the milk. The process kills bacteria that produces disease and retards spoilage in milk. Salmonella is the most common disease transmitted in raw milk. This organism can cause vomiting, diarrhea, and ruin the benefits of this tasty and nutritious drink. I'll keep you posted on this progress of groundbreaking technology. Keenan.
What an utterly shocking report. But I took a different approach to the same story. I took a camera on location at a local dairy farm and actually caught on tape the vicious bacteria Salmonella trying to sneak in to contaminate milk. He spotted me and ran away. So you see, Katie, I saved our viewers from getting sick.
You make me sick. That's not what Salmonella looks like. You're always trying to stretch and distort the truth for higher ratings.
No one wears jealousy as well as you, Katie, darling.
You're confusing jealousy with being disgusted. And don't call me darling.
Well, my next story on calcium should prove my newsworthiness. I caught up with a science teacher of the year showing students the health benefits of calcium.
Now, calcium is very important in bones. It helps keep the bones strong and stable and supports our body.
But this skeleton's missing his left foot.
It's not missing it. It's on tour with Footloose.
You don't have a serious bone in your body, do you?
Yeah, I do. I got lots of them. See? You've got to love my no bones about it approach on that story.
You're right. That was a boneheaded approach. For some people, the lactose in milk is a problem, not a benefit. They cannot digest more than a small amount of milk due to the deficiency of an enzyme that makes lactose absorbable. This lactose intolerance affects 5 to 10% of Americans of the northern region, but it's most common in African Americans, Asians, Jewish, and some Mediterranean peoples. Top that story, mister.
As a matter of fact, I can. I have an exclusive interview with a 200-year-old alien cow from the planet Walk who will tell her story on.
That's it. I've had it with your hack, phony journalism. I'm going to give you some hard-hitting journalism.
Ah!
Oh, yeah. Good evening, and have a pleasant tomorrow.
Ow! Stop it!
Either of you ever had a smoothie before?
No, not really.
Okay. Well, this one we're going to use some strawberries, some yogurt, some milk, a banana, and we're going to really kind of liven it up with some of the garnish, Josh, that you're actually going to put together on. So, Jasmine, why don't you start out? We'll go ahead and put about a half a cup of either skim or low-fat milk in our blender jar.
Whole works too?
Whole works, but one of the things we're trying to encourage people to think about, kids in particular, is to watch their fat intake. And a great way to do that is to use either the 1% or the skim milk. So then we're going to add strawberries. We've got some strawberries that are in season. We want to spoon those gently into, but the strawberries are in season right now, so we can get them fairly inexpensively. Here in Florida, though, our season typically is anywhere from February to March. And because we're using that strawberry theme, we're going to go ahead and kind of play off that theme and use a little bit of low-fat strawberry yogurt. Go ahead and kind of spoon that in. We've got about an 8-ounce cup there. Now, the next thing we're going to do to kind of liven it up a little bit and add a little bit of nutritional value is to put that banana in. We've got about a half of that. And once we do that, we're going to go ahead and put the lid on. And Jasmine, you're going to go ahead and hold on as we learned, and we're going to go ahead and push the blend button and kind of get it cranking a couple of times. Okay, let's stop. We're unplugging it. Go ahead and take that lid off, kind of scrape the sides to make sure we've got all of that good stuff kind of blended up. One more quick blend, I believe, will probably do it for us. So go ahead and get that lid back on. And I'm going to plug it back in. Okay, and go ahead and just turn the blend button on real quick.
Why don't we use one of the other sticks?
Well, it really depends on the kind of function you want the button to do. For grinding, that would be for more solid ingredients. If you were beating something, you might want to consider beating up a pudding or that kind of thing. So each button really has its own function. Okay, now Josh, this is where you come in. We're going to actually kind of really make this blender drink look pretty. And we're going to take a little bit of, we're going to round the glasses with a little bit of colored sugar. We're going to take a little bit of water in your finger and kind of just go ever so lightly around the edge of the rims of the glasses. And that's actually what makes the sugar stick, because if you didn't have something that was moist, and you could use the strawberry actually, if you didn't have something that was moist, the sugar would just fall off. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take that glass, we're going to turn it upside down, invert it if you will, and just put it down, straight down in the sugar. And it should, a little bit of that, not every part of it, should stick to the rim. And it just really kind of makes a pretty presentation. Do the same thing with the other.
Presentation's always important.
Absolutely. We eat with our eyes, and color just makes such a difference in terms of how we perceive and just enjoy our foods. Okay, Jasmine, now what we're going to have you do is actually pour some of that blender drink in.
You want to hold the base of the glass?
Sure. Yeah, probably a good idea, just so we don't have any spills. You notice how nice and thick that is, because we've used so much fruit, and that banana actually helped to kind of really thicken that up a little bit. Good. Let's go ahead and fill up the other one. And again, these are great if you want to take these in the morning, for example, if you're kind of rushed for school. You can put them in a to-go cup, one of the insulated cups, take it to school with you, and you've got kind of a breakfast in a cup, if you will. So that should do it for those things. Now, one of the other things we're going to do with you, Josh, we've got some strawberries, again, to kind of put our finishing touch. We've split those strawberries a little bit in the middle, and we're going to actually rest those on the edge of the glass. Just garnish with whatever you do. So I want you guys to try it.
Oh.
Okay.
It's a crustless broccoli quiche that's low fat, and this is how we made it. The first thing we did was to preheat our oven to 350 degrees. Then we coated the inside of our 9-inch wide pie pan with a little bit of cooking spray. Make sure to coat the pan sides as well. Next, we mixed 2 tablespoons of shredded or grated Parmesan cheese and 2 tablespoons of breadcrumbs in a small bowl. Then we sprinkled it into the pie pan, moving it all around, along the sides too, to coat the pan evenly. We use Parmesan cheese because its melting point is such that it can get a little bit hotter and won't burn. Once that was done, we started on our custard egg base. In a mixing bowl, we whisked together 1 large egg, 4 egg whites, 1½ cups low-fat milk, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, and a dash of hot sauce instead of black pepper. Now here's how to separate an egg. Crack it gently on the countertop, carefully open it over your dish, pour the egg back and forth until most of the egg white is separated out into your dish. If a piece of the shell falls in, just scoop it out with the other half of the eggshell. We also wiped our hands after we finished with the eggs to prevent any foodborne illnesses. We then whisked the custard egg base until it was smooth. Next, we sprinkled 4 ounces, or 1 cup, of low-fat, sharp cheddar cheese evenly into the prepared pie pan. And then we added 1½ cups of chopped up broccoli, which can be microwaved for 1 minute or steamed on the stove for 6 minutes in a steamer. Steaming it retains most of the flavor and nutrients. Then, we sprinkled the broccoli evenly on top of the cheese. We then poured our custard egg base into our pie pan. And finally, we baked it in our preheated oven at 350 degrees for about 45 minutes, or until the edges are brown and puffy. You can use smaller pans instead of one large quiche and bake them for 10 to 15 minutes less. Then, while our quiche was baking, we garnished our plates because you not only eat with your tummies, you eat with your eyes. Never underestimate the power of food presentation. Here we carved and cut up lamb's ears lettuce, cherry and yellow tomatoes, carrots, basil, and black olives. When our quiche was done, we let it cool for about 10 minutes before cutting it into pie-like slices. Quiche can also be served at room temperature. And that's it for a yummy crustless broccoli quiche. What a lovely morning breakfast or a party snack it makes.
Milk and milk products have played an important role in America's history since 1611, when the first dairy cows were brought to Jamestown, Virginia.
Teenage girls are at especially high risk of having low calcium intake.
Top your cereals with almonds or berries.
The number one reason people skip on breakfast is time.
Coconut milk is not the thin liquid found inside the coconut itself. It is the shredded coconut meat that is pressed or mashed to release as much liquid as possible. The mixture is strained, and the result is coconut milk.
After you finish blending, what you want to do is turn it off and then fill it about half full with water. Add a couple drops of dishwashing detergent and then make sure you put the lids back on. Both of them in this case. Then what you want to do is pulse it for a few seconds, just on a low speed. After that, you can take it over to the sink and rinse it out. Once you've rinsed it out, hang it upside down over a towel to dry. And after it's totally dry, you can use the blender again. That's all there is to it. Happy blending! So do try to make milk part of your daily life, because it really does do the body good.